All right, so if you are ever feeling like your life is getting a little bit out of whack and you're slipping, you're not really moving forward as much as you'd like to, what I've noticed, at least in my life, is that if I just change these 6 habits, or if I reapply my efforts to these 6 habits and making sure that I'm showing up and I'm executing them consistently, then it tends to fix like 99% of the problems that I experience on a day-to-day basis. And so if that feels like you, if you're in a place as we enter into a new year and you're like, oh man, fourth quarter, this is where the championships are won. I'm supposed to be showing up and going hard, but I just kind of feel off kilter. That happens, right? The changing of the seasons, it's starting to get cold, starting to get dark a lot longer. And maybe with the holidays, you're just getting outside of your rhythm. And what I find is that just by reapplying myself to these 6 habits, it goes a very long way towards improving the quality of my existence. And so hopefully it does the same for you. So habit number 1 is to define winning the day. Define what winning the day looks like. Guys, I cannot tell you how many people I see going through life that have no clue what it means for them to win the day. And think about this. If you were ever to sit down and try to play a game for the first time, your friend is explaining it to you. He explains all the rules, and maybe he even starts to give you some of the strategies, but he leaves out one vital piece of information. If he does not tell you how to actually win the game, then your success or failure is going to ultimately be determined entirely by blind luck. So it doesn't matter like what strategies you employ, whether they're right or wrong, how strong you are, how fast you are, how smart you are, how hardworking you are, because your success is ultimately going to come down to luck, because you don't actually know what you're doing. You don't know what is driving the meaningful results because you haven't sat down to define, how do I win this game? And this is really obvious when we think about this in the context of like going to play basketball or play chess. Like you wouldn't really enjoy the game much if you didn't actually know what winning and losing looked like. You would just be kind of moving things around. And yet this is how so many people go through life, which is they're just living the best life, and they have no clue what winning the day looks like. And so they go through the motions, they do a lot of stuff on their to-do list, and they're very, very busy. And then at the end of the day, they look back and they don't really have a sense that it was a win or a loss. And so in the absence of knowing definitively whether or not you won the day, your brain will default to just assuming you lost. So this is why most people go through life just feeling like they're not stacking up, like they're losing. They're always falling behind the to-do list. Doesn't matter how productive you are, it just continues to stay the same size or grow. And the easiest way to turn the tables on this is just by waking up in the morning and getting very, very clear. What does it look like for me to win this day? Set those parameters and then execute against those. For instance, what I recommend is setting the bar very low so that you can win the day easily. Don't make it incredibly difficult, and don't get too rambunctious or overly optimistic with yourself. Say, hey, this is what it looks like to win the day for me today. My 3 core values are creativity, curiosity, discipline. So I'm going to create something today. I'm going to create a video. I'm going to create a podcast. I'm going to create a blog post. I'm going to create something. And I'm going to be curious. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to spend some time today learning something that I didn't already know. I'm going to try and improve and expand my worldview. And then discipline is I'm going to show up and do something regardless of whether or not I want to do it. And if I do those 3 things, then I have lived in alignment with my values of creativity, curiosity, and discipline, and therefore it was a win. That's one way of doing it. Another way might be, hey, if I spend an hour outside, an hour with my partner, and an hour working hard, that's a win, right? You get to choose what winning and losing looks like, so use that most powerful of abilities, all right? Number 2, the second habit that solves 99% of my problems is to wake up when you say you will. Listen, you got to start the day with a win. And the easiest way you can give yourself a win is by getting out of bed when you said you would. I don't care if you wake up at 5 or at 10. When you go to bed at night, you should have a very clear image in your mind of what time you want to get up. And you probably set an alarm. So when that alarm goes off, this is your first opportunity to get a win. And the question is, will you do what you said you would when the alarm goes off, and will you get up? Or will you break the promise you made to yourself and hit snooze? And that might seem like a really small difference, might seem like a really small decision, between hitting the snooze button for just another 5 minutes or getting up right away. But I promise you, life is the culmination of the small decisions you make. Every decision is important, and this is a very important one because it is the first decision you make when you wake up. And wins and losses, they compound and they gain momentum and they have an inertia behind them. So if you start your day with a win, it's easier for that to roll into the next win and the next win and the next win. Whereas if you lose and you delay getting out of bed, it makes it that much easier to pass on doing the cold plunge or the cold shower or doing the workout or eating healthy. These things have momentum. And so it's important that you start your day with the win. So get up when you say you will. I don't care what time it is, but get up. Number 3 is to fight the dragon first. I've been talking a lot recently about fighting dragons. Now, the truth is the dragon isn't getting any smaller. It's not getting any weaker. And it does not matter how well prepared you are to fight it. All you're really doing in most cases is tiring yourself out unnecessarily by fighting smaller monsters. So it's important that when you get up in the morning, ideally when you said you would, the first thing that you do after defining what winning the day looks like is to go fight the biggest, baddest dragon as early as you possibly can. The dragon here is a metaphor, obviously, for the hard things in life that will move you towards your goals the quickest. So go fight the dragon first. Number 4, train hard. Getting out of bed when you said you would and fighting big, hard, scary dragons is a lot easier when your body feels good, when you feel energized, when you feel ready to attack the day. Now, the counterintuitive trick to making your body feel good is to first make it feel bad by pushing it to its limit. And it's through that hard work that 2 magical things occur. 1, your limit expands. Number 2, everything else in life gets easier. There's no getting around this. So accept what I'm about to tell you as a golden truth because it is so damn important. In life, you will suffer. That is inevitable. But you get to choose your suffering. And I encourage you to always choose the suffering that makes you better. So get in the gym and train hard. Number 5, fuel your body. There's this phrase in software, garbage in, garbage out. It means if you put junk in, you get junk out. Same with your body. You put garbage fuel in, you're going to feel like garbage. The quickest way that I've found to just consistently feel good in my body is to change what I eat. Like if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm consistently in the doldrums and I have low energy, it's probably the result of the food that I've been putting inside my body. Personally, sugar, alcohol, and gluten make it very hard for me to fight big, scary dragons. For whatever reason, I put those 3 things into my body and the dragons become almost insurmountable. And so, listen, the dragon's hard enough as it is. Like, you don't need to go make it any harder. So eat good to feel good and then go fight the dragons. All right, number 6 is to review your game day footage. It's important that you define what winning the day looks like, obviously, in the morning. That is half the battle. But the other half occurs after the performance has occurred, when we're reviewing what happened. And we're asking ourselves, did I live in alignment with what I had set for myself, right? We're judging, we're doing a performance review. This is so important because often it's very easy to, define what winning looks like. But if we never stop to reflect, how did I perform? How did I play? Did I play well? Did I win despite playing poorly? These are important questions to ask that only occur upon reflection. And it's important to remember that improving at any skill requires feedback, reflection, and iteration. So allow yourself at the end of the day to reflect on whether or not you did win the day. Reflect on your performance. How did you show up? Was it what you wanted? How did you show up at work? How did you show up with your loved ones? How did you show up for yourself? Like, if you're not happy with that, document it and then go to that 3rd step in the skill improvement process. Iterate. Try again the next day. That's the great thing about life is you usually get another shot. You get another shot right up until the moment you don't, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope these 6 habits brought you a little bit of value. If you're struggling at the moment to get your wheels back in the groove, then try these things. Go back to the basics. Fundamentals win championships, and these are the fundamentals of a great life. So take them and run with them, and I will see you back around these parts tomorrow. But until then, stay hyper focused, my friends.